Hello everybody, welcome to a live studio show here on MXGP TV with me, Paul Malin, and Lisa Leyland. Today's show consists of Conrad Mewse, Tim Gajser and Louis Voster. Of course, he's team owner for the Monster Energy Yamaha MXGP factory team. But before we go any further, Lisa, here we are again. Actually feels like a Saturday for once, not like the Wednesday or the Tuesday that we did midweek.
But you know what, it is a Saturday today.
It is actually.
Yeah, but it does feel like we're at totally different racetracks. The weather conditions, everything's changed. It's
temperatures dropped.
Yes.
It's feeling more like autumn and winter every single day.
I know, well, it's October, isn't it?
It is. Anyway, one rider who's going to have to face these challenges this weekend or tomorrow is Conrad Mewse and Hitachi KTM fueled by Lisa.
Milwaukee. You started me off with that and I just can't help but.
That one's for Ash Manton, by the way.
Milwaukee.
Anyway, Conrad, good to see you. First of all, what do you make of these one-day formats?
Do you know what? There's been a lot of talk about this around the team and things like that. Which one do we prefer and things. I quite like the one-day format, to be honest. When it's going well, it's all pretty flowing and it's all pretty easy. But I mean, when you want to make changes and things like that, there's not a lot of room to do that. So, but for me, it's good. I like it. You get there, get the job done, and it'll be interesting with Spain actually next weekend. Obviously, it's just a one day. It's not a week kind of thing, 3-day event. So it'd be interesting to get there, see kind of it's all going to be a bit manic, and then you're out straight away. So
yeah, because it's a track you've never been before either, so everyone will be in the same boat. But you're currently 8th in points in MX2. Is that a true reflection of where you're at, or are you, were you hoping to be pushing more top 5, top 3s in races and podiums and the championship?
To be honest, not the way I started the year, but the way I started kind of after lockdown, I would say is probably reasonable where I'm at now. I didn't start off too great, so we didn't have some very good scores and things like that, and I wasn't in a very good place back then, but we're starting to pick it up again now, and like I said, we're ticking the boxes every single week, and I feel like we're getting there now, and we're just going to keep on the plan, keep on the program, and yeah, like I said, keep ticking the boxes, and eventually I believe that we'll get where we want to be.
Well, we'll talk about these Italian rounds shortly, but let's talk about Latvia. The first round you did seem to struggle a little bit, but gradually you started to improve over the next 2 rounds, and 6th overall at the MXGP Kegums. So just talk us about that. Yeah,
Kegums was a difficult one for me. The year before, in 2019, I took the whole year off for injury. And going back to Kegums actually felt like it felt all a bit new to me. Like even before going back to Matterley, going back to Matterley, I had like 10, 11 months off of racing. And then going back to Kegums just felt completely different. I don't know. I felt good going in, and then I didn't get the result I wanted in qualifying, and then it kind of just downward spiraled from there really, and it wasn't a good few rounds to me, but we picked it up towards the end. I think we scored a 5 and a 7 I think on the last round or something. So we did pick it up. We worked hard, and like I said, we stuck to the game plan, and yeah, eventually we got there in the end.
Well, we're just looking at Faenza here. 5 top 5 results here actually, and tell us about the 3 hard pack races you had there. Did you enjoy the triple header here in Faenza that we had?
I did, it was Faenza. I actually really enjoyed the track. There's not many tracks that I go to and I think, I actually love riding this track, like it's really cool. But that one, I'd never been there before, and straight away I gelled with the track, and yeah, I got on with it really well. I thought it was a great track, and there was lots of lines, and I think they had the watering great as well. It was never too wet. So yeah, for me that was a good track. That suited me a lot.
And obviously, I mean, we enjoyed that clip so much, we're going to play it again. Just in general, you're known for being more of probably a sandman, but you are pretty good on the hard pack as well. I know you've got a local track near you that's hard. So was this kind of, good to be on the hard pack? Because obviously we had 3 in Latvia sand, and then straight there to hard pack, just to mix it up a little bit. Yeah,
definitely. Like for me, like Latvia and the sand and things like that, it's so kind of like you've almost got to take your brain out, and you ride the track like that, like especially in qualifying. Whereas hard pack, I find that you can't really do that, because sometimes it can bite you and things like that. So Faenza was a very technical track, and that suited me a lot. But we've done a lot of hard pack riding leading up to that. But yeah, like I said, I spent a lot of time in the sand as a kid, so that's why I'm kind of I like the sand a lot. But no, I think I don't really have a preference over the two, but yeah.
Sure. Well, you can't now these days, can you? You've got to ride
exactly.
everything. So far here in Mantova, you've had a 3rd and a 4th in races. You were 5th overall here on Wednesday. Do you feel that with 2 good starts, you can be knocking on the door for the podium overall? Because obviously, you know, the start here is very important, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. I found that out when I went 18.3. That's yeah, it's unbelievable. It's like the pace now is so fast, and I think there's any rider inside of the top 10, maybe even top 12, that can win a race. So it is pretty crazy. But yeah, the start here is key. There's not many lines to pass. But yeah, it is what it is. I mean, everyone gets the same chance, and it's just about perfecting that start. With these the metal grids they got now, it's made it a lot more even now. You all kind of come off the start together. It's just about perfecting that gear shift in the weight transfer and things like that. So it's a lot more difficult nowadays.
Does it feel good to be mixing it up front though on a much more regular basis? Obviously, like you said, Latvia was a nightmare first round there, but obviously we're seeing now, you know, 3rds, 4ths, 5ths, mixing it with the front guys.
Yeah, it's nice to be a front runner again now, to be honest. The first time I got in that position in 3rd, I rode a little bit tense for the first 10 minutes, lost a few places. But then after that, I kind of just thought to myself that really, like, there isn't guys there that I haven't beat before. So, in some way I belong there. So no, it's like I said, it's just a case of getting 2 consistent starts, and yeah, hopefully we can climb up onto that podium soon.
Well, the weather's been a little bit up and down these past couple of days, hasn't it? I mean, I know last year we had a real mudder here, but it can be a real game changer tomorrow, though, can't it?
Yeah, definitely, and that as well is even more down to the start, I believe.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I wasn't here last year, but I watched it on TV, and yeah, I don't really know how it's going to play out. I'm not too sure how this track rides in the wet and things like that. So yeah, we'll have to see tomorrow, but I'm looking forward to it either way.
Well, just briefly tell us, what are your goals from now to the end of the season?
Every time we go to the line, me and Sordy have a goal of top 6 every race. And that's what we're sticking at. No matter whether we go and win a race or get on the podium or things like that, I think the goal will always remain the same. I think if you can finish top 6 in most races throughout the year, I think you're kind of up there for the championship. So, but yeah, I mean, that's the goal, and that's what we're going to stick to for the remainder of the year. And
good having him around, Sordy?
Yeah, very good. Yeah, he was so good, especially in Latvia when we were really low. It was good to have him there, and he's just very professional. You know, he's not out there. He's quiet. He says what he needs to say, and yeah, for me, he's gelled well, and he's working great with the whole team, and me and Bas get on really well and things like that. So. And yeah, it makes for a really fun training program, actually.
All right. When I contacted your boss, Roger McGee, the other day, he said, "Yeah, sure, no problem. He can be there. Does he have to sing?"
Oh,
and I went. Well, I said, "Well, it's not." I said, "It's not a deal breaker."
Hang on, you sang that? Did you sing Justin Bieber on our virtual studio
you did,
show?
yeah.
Justin
that
Bieber.
was brilliant. That was the highlight of my lockdown.
That didn't go very well for me when I turned out to Latvia, though, did it?
No. Well, look, we're not going to ask you to sing today, but put your serious face back on, start thinking about tomorrow, and enjoy it this weekend. Conrad Mewse, everybody. Right, we're back with Tim Gajser in just a few moments, but before we talk to him, here's MX2 highlights from race 2 at the Città di Mantova MXGP on Wednesday.
Flight Racing 15-second board, up for the final time for MX2. Renault's upside down, I think, in turn 1. Watson down as well. But it's Vial who leads, and we know what happens when he gets there. You cannot afford that guy a Vauxhall shot. 39 and 14. So Van der Moosnijk now up in a second. Geertz is there, but he just can't find a way through. Been like this now for, what, 3 laps? Oh, and both feet off the pegs. Oh, he went inside, outside, and Geertz was through. Geertz down, the inside of Van der Moosdijk. Oh, that's where he fell in race 1. Olsen went through. It was a mistake in the waves for Van der Moosdijk. Again, out of line, out of shape. Whoa! This time he carves a new line down the inside. And Beaton loses 2 in 1 turn. And Jago Geertz looking to charge down the inside. And he gets on the gas. Down the inside. Oh! The owl closed the door. Then Olsen is your overall winner for the 2nd time this week. The Red Bull KTM rider wins race 2. It's only going to be good enough for 2nd overall because the victory will belong to Thomas Kjær Olsen. Back-to-back wins for the Dane. Thomas Kjær Olsen, Rockstar Energy Husqvarna Factory Racing, stands on the top step again. 3rd overall, Roman Mosdijk, F&H Kawasaki MX2 Racing. Tom Biel, 2nd overall. The red plate still attached to the front of that Red Bull KTM. Another crazy day at the office, folks. Ka-ching!
Hello everybody, welcome back to our live studio show here on MXGPTV.com with me, Paul Malin, and Lisa Leyland. Our second guest is in, Tim Gajser, of course, from Team HRC, and he is currently the championship leader in MXGP. Tim, good to see you again. Welcome to our studio show. I know we had you on at the first round at Matterley Basin as a defending champion. But yeah, leading the championship after 10 rounds, but it hasn't been the easiest of seasons, has it?
Yeah, actually, it's been quite a lot of ups and downs. It's been a weird season, I think, to everyone. But anyway, you know, it's great to have a red plate after 10 GPs. The competition is really strong. I mean, you know, you can see from the lap times, everybody is really fast. Everybody is in shape. The racing is nice, intense. So, yeah, you know, really looking forward to go to the last 9 GPs. Sure. I will give my best. Try to be consistent. I think the starts are also really important this year. It's not easy to pass, so yeah, it's going to be a good season.
This is obviously when you took the red plate in the race on Sunday, I think it was, Sunday afternoon. But do you feel that the level, you just mentioned it, everything's really close. Do you feel the level of the riders has got higher this year, or do you think it's more to do with the one-day format, everybody pushing for just one day instead of having to divide their efforts over 2 days?
I think everything a little bit. I mean, we have a lot of off time, you know, so everybody who was injured had the time to regroup, you know, to get healthy, to get in shape, to get fit, you know, and even like one-day format, you know, it's not so physical, it's just one day, not 2 days of racing. So I think both these things makes for more interesting and more intense and more close racing.
Well, with only racing on the one day, do the tracks ride any differently? I mean, are they more bumpy or are they faster than what they would be if you were racing them over 2 days?
I think the tracks are less rough, so maybe that's also why we are all really close together, because it's not easy to make a difference. But yeah, you know, actually on the Sunday it's just us, just MX2 and MXGP. What in the past usually was like EMX 250, MX 1 to 5. They had 2 groups in both classes, you know, many riders on the track on the same day. So the track was way more rougher.
Yeah.
Well, I guess when the racing gets back to normal, we'll more than likely have that 2-day format back. Do you prefer racing over the 2 days or the 1 day, or is that something that you don't really think about that much?
If I'm completely honest, I prefer 2 days format. I mean, it's World Championship and it should be over 2 days, you know. You should have like 3 practices and then time practice and then quali race and then on Sunday warm up and then 2 races. So yeah, I prefer like 2 days.
And this is, I guess this is what the, you know, the promoters in front sort of say. The World Championship is supposed to be the toughest championship in the world. All national championship series are normally on 1 day. Yeah. Obviously, we're in this situation because of what's going on in the world. But you know, it's my opinion that I think if everything returns and when it returns to normal, we will go back to the 2-day format. So.
That'll
be nice for you. Yeah. But obviously, we've got, you know, quite a a tough end to the season. 10 rounds in 7 weeks, you know, with Sunday, Wednesday, Sundays, and no break now until the last round in Trentino. I guess, and I suppose in many ways that's going to be the toughest end to a season in MXGP history. Everybody now has to sort of really manage the pressure, don't they? Pressure of performing, pressure of staying out of trouble, pressure of staying healthy.
Exactly.
How are you going to manage that?
Yeah, like I said, I mean, it's going to be really, really tough for the next month and a half. But, you know, it's going to be the same for everyone.
Yeah.
So we just need to stay consistent. I mean, keep good training. I think mental side is going to be really important, you know, to be mentally strong during these GPs, to not make a lot of mistakes. Also, like on the days where you don't feel the best, maybe settle for, I don't know, second, third, fourth position, you know, not go every time for the win, stuff like that, you know. And even like I mentioned many times, I think the starts are really key this season. So to make consistent starts in the both motos, you know, what I this year didn't have. I mean, like I had one good start and then one not so good. So try to make, I mean, I'm gonna work on this, you know, to try to make consistent start, to be there in front, and then, you know, when you are in front, you can pick your lines, you can ride smoother, you know, like you are not in the middle of something, you are not risking so much, so stuff like that, you know.
Yeah.
Well, from your race wins so far this year, would you say that your race win in Valkenswaard was perhaps the most special to you?
Yeah, it was one of the special ones, especially doing there in Valkenswaard, you know, basically where Jeffrey is living. The track was gnarly. I mean, the conditions were incredible, you know. It was raining and the track was really deep with a lot of deep ruts. But it was a nice win, yeah.
Yeah, we saw that from the reaction when you crossed the line, and obviously if people didn't watch that GP, first of all, where were you? Second of all, you might notice these strange things on the side of the track called people, crowd, fans, different atmosphere. But obviously what happened, he had an outside gate pick, swept across everybody, came out in probably 5th or 6th and was leading before the end of the first lap, having passed Tony and Prado, and obviously this is the run to the line. I think the celebration says it all, really, when you hit the line.
Yeah, I mean, it was like you said, you know, I had a good qualification race, then I couldn't finish because of the problem of the bike, so I have like completely last gate peak. What I think everybody who races in Valkenswaard knows that the start is really important there. I mean, the gate peak is really important. The first gate is the best one, and then more you go towards to the right, you know, the worse, right. Yeah, exactly. Worse it is. So you know, it was really incredible actually, like to came from 36 gate peak into the first corner in 3rd position, especially second moto, was something special. Cool. Good.
All right, don't go anywhere at the moment. Just another recap as to how you can watch MXGP and MXGP racing live and uninterrupted throughout the rest of the season. Don't forget, we've still got our special promo on, €59. That's as it was from when we released it, that 10 rounds to go, that's less than €6 a round. But actually, more than that, you get the whole season on back catalogue, if you like. So everything on demand, and everything from now, live or on demand, whatever you want. It includes the studio show, behind the gate, the highlights package that we have on Tuesday after the race. And of course, all Europeans. We've got 125 and 250 here today, so tune in for that if you can. But enjoy the package if you buy it. Tim, thanks for joining us today. And of course, all the best for tomorrow and the rest of the season. It's going to be tough for all of us, but, you know, we're all in the same boat. But thank you.
Thank you very much, guys.
Right, Louis Voster is getting ready to come and talk to us. Before we meet him, though, let's see what happened MXGP of Città di Mantova. His highlights from race 2 on Wednesday. Every time. MXGP Race 2, 30 minutes plus 2 laps, the 10th round of the FIM Motocross World Championship. Tim Gajser looking good, but so too Roman Febvre. Gasol spins up and then gets hooked up, coming out of the turn. Unceremoniously dumped to the ground, the number 25. Gajser is there in 2nd. Paulin is 3rd, Cairoli 4th, Seawer is 5th. Prado in 6th place, closest to us now, around the outside, and then cuts to the inside of the Yamaha rider. Side by side, and he looks to find his way through on the Swiss, and he does.
Whoa, how tight do you want it, guys? Fevre being harassed left, right and centre. Gajser tries to get on the gas. Not able to find a way through. The first look over the shoulder from Romain Fevre, number 3. Oh, and Siwa down. Siwa picks himself up. Is that Siwa? Siwa has launched his bike over the fence, going from bad to worse for the number 91. Oh, and Gajser throws it away. Paulin will go through. Gajser tries to do a practice start to keep him back there, but all of a sudden, Paulin up in the second. Gajser now third. Cairoli 4. Game on for the championship rivals, and Cairoli trying to strike immediately. Big panic rev there from Gajser. He launches down the inside of Paulin. Paulin not having any of it. Wow, talk about spiking the heart rates. Kawasaki wouldn't have had a Grand Prix victory in the Premier class since Clermont de Sal, Russia 2018. Romain Fevre, he crosses the line. He is absolutely ecstatic with the win. Romain Fevre, your overall winner. Jorge Prado, second overall. Tim Gajser, third, but maintains his grip on the championship leader's red plate.
Hello everybody, welcome back to our final part of our live studio show here on MXGPTV.com with me, Paul Malin, and Lisa Leyland. Our third guest is in now, Louis Voster. Of course, he is the team owner for Monster Energy Yamaha MXGP factory team. Louis, welcome to sunny Italy.
Good morning. Good morning.
What a change the weather has made there in the last few days. But as a fan of the sport, as a neutral of the sport, first of all, how close, how intense has the racing been this year, particularly in the MXGP class?
I don't know why, but we saw it already in Latvia, that it was so close. I think we had there 8 different podium finishers, and 9 is the maximum. So all races were really close and really nice to watch.
Yeah, and from your side as a team owner, obviously Jeremy Siwa seems like he's really stepped it up this year. He's had 2 race wins, he's had a Grand Prix victory, he's third in the championship and not so far off the lead. It's turning out to be a pretty good season for him and for you guys.
Actually, he stepped it already up last year,
Yeah.
but I'm really happy that he improved again this year. So now he's really there and he's doing a great job. So we take it race by race and see what will happen.
This is obviously one of his first race in MXGP. This was Faenza. Were you pleased with the way that he performed there, or is that the kind of track that you expected him to do well?
Yeah, this kind of track fits really to him, and he really likes such kind of tracks. So more or less this we expected.
Well, it's very tight at the top of the championship standings at the moment. We don't know too much about the track in Spain, but looking at Lommel and Trentino, would you say those tracks would suit Jeremy as he goes for his first title?
Yeah, for sure. Lommel is close to our workshop, close to where Jeremy is living. He trains a lot there, and at the moment he's quite fast there. And regarding Trentino, yeah, he's born on such kind of surface and tracks, and he really likes hardback, so that's a good track for him as well.
Yeah, and obviously we don't know anything about the circuit in Spain yet, but I'm guessing that with it being a brand new circuit, it's going to be, I would imagine clay dirt possibly, rather than sand like we had with Assen. It's obviously, I think it's going to be more of a level playing field for everybody. Going in just one day's race, learning the track, I think we'll really see maybe a shift in the balance, or you think the same riders will kind of work their way to the top there?
I think it will be quite the same riders there.
Yeah.
And I expect no really different results from other riders, but we'll see what will come.
Okay.
Well, what about Gautier? I mean, So far this season, there's been flashes of what he can do, and he actually showed that on Wednesday. If he gets a good start up front, then he can actually be a potential race winner. I mean, were you impressed with what he did on Wednesday?
Yeah, we all know
Yeah.
Gauthier had great riding skills. He's really talented, but he has to make the puzzle, you know, and you need a good start, you need some good luck. He had a problem with, he broke his finger in Latvia, so there it started, a quite big crash in Faenza. So now we saw last race here on Wednesday, when he has a good start, he's there with the guys at the front. He can do really well. So he's a potential race winner. We see.
And obviously, I think you just touched on it there. I guess the general kind of synopsis is really that, you know, he's been unlucky this year, hasn't he? You know, whether it's poor starts or whether it's small mistakes, the injury that he had in was it Faenza when he did the finger, or Latvia? Latvia. So just unlucky, you know, and I know as a rider it sometimes can be frustrating, you know, you just find a good pace and then there's a knockback, there is something. Is that kind of, you know, for him that's difficult to deal with? How do you deal with that? You know, that kind of disappointment from a rider, but you having to then kind of build him back up.
Yeah, first of all, we all try to stay positive and to support him as much as possible. But Gauthier is a guy who really wants to do well, and he pushes himself to the limit. And this will not always work. So and we all, the whole crew, we were really happy that he did well last Wednesday here.
And obviously, it's been a tough season for Arno. We saw, signs of brilliance from him in Latvia, where he was running top 3, top 4 in both races at some point over the course of the triple header there. But it's been a very contrasting sort of there's been a contrast in fortunes for him. You know, last year 6 podiums, couldn't do anything wrong, and had a fantastic season. But this year completely different. It just goes to show how challenging sometimes our sport and how cruel it can be sometimes.
Yes, that's true. Also last year, in the beginning of the season, yeah, he had some bad luck and stuff, but then he came in a flow. I think it was in Portugal with his first podium, and then he made 6 in a row. So, but also this year for him, he can't make the puzzle, and he's struggling. He has some injuries. So we really hope that he can come back soon, because actually at the moment he has a concussion. Again, he's resting at home, and we hope that we will see him back on the bike next week.
Sure.
Okay. I mean, I guess it's just a case of just taking it day by day at this stage then for Arno.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the latest there then, concussion, staying home. We don't know when we're going to see him back. Are we likely to see him at all in Belgium, or we don't know yet?
And he is really looking for Spain next week.
Okay,
okay.
cool. So that's the latest on Arno. Before we go, I was talking to Tim about this a moment ago. It's going to be a tough end to the season. When we arrived here in Mantova, 10 rounds in 7 weeks with 3 triple headers and the race in Spain next week. And I guess, you know, the toughest run in MXGP history, World Championship history. Never before have we seen that kind of end to a season. Everyone has to perform and stay in top form now, don't they, for the rest of the can't afford any mistakes.
No, it's true. You have to stay in top form, but you have to be consistent as well all the time. So at the end, I think this will be the champion who will be the most consistent over these last races. So it will be quite exciting, I think.
Obviously, I know they've not made too many changes to the track since Tuesday, because obviously they were working on the track on Thursday. We had pretty much rain all day yesterday. We had it in the night. We're having it today. This one could be a game changer in terms of the start is important, it's crucial. What can we expect tomorrow?
For me, I hope that there will be a little bit more lines. So they did some changes on the track, and when the weather is quite fine, I think we will see a nice race again.
All right. Well, look, Louis Voster, thanks for joining us here today, and all the best for the riders from now until the end of the season.
Thank you.
Well, look, we are out of time here. Thanks for joining us for our studio show here in Mantova, the MXGP of Europe. What is it, round 11 now of the FIA Motocross World Championship? Join us in just over 1.5 hours' time. We'll be here with EMX 125 Race 1 and then EMX 250. They're the support classes today. We're back tomorrow from midday here, local time, 12 12 o'clock with MX2 Race 1, of course, MX2 and MXGP throughout the day. Thanks for watching. We will see you next week when we do it all again in Spain. Bye for now.